Hi, and welcome back to our video series on Virgin Voyages. This is part dos. My name is Manny.
And I'm Sean.
And we bring to you the Moss Podcast. And this is our first full video pod, blah, 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 all the things on YouTube. If you haven't seen our first video, you should go check that out. We called it Ship Things.
Yes.
About Virgin Voyages. This one, we're going to break down all the included restaurants that are on board Virgin Voyages.
Yes. So let's talk about food.
Love food. I'm a foodie. Can't tell. So all the restaurants are included on board. There are some upcharge items at some of the restaurants. But definitely everything's included for the most part when it comes to restaurants. You can book your restaurant times on the Virgin app. I think it's 45 days before you sail. I might be really wrong about that one. I can't remember. But your app will tell you when restaurants become available for you to book. And we do recommend booking them in advance, especially if you have a group. But we've also read that you can do it on board, like more times open up once you're on board. And also you can go to Sailor Services and rearrange some of your times and they can kind of work with you on that. So with that out of the way, shall we dive right in?
So the first thing we'll talk about is the Galley. Most cruise ships, if you are a frequent cruiser, you will know the Lido deck, or the Windjammer as it's called on Royal Caribbean. It is where the main food buffet is.
Buffet line.
Yeah, pretty much. So on Virgin, they do it a little bit different. It is called the Galley. It is not buffet per se. So what you do in the Galley is you come in, you sit down, and they have QR codes on the table, which you can scan with your phone to look at the different menus and options that they have. Now, what makes the Galley unique is that it is a bunch of different restaurants in one place. It ranges from tacos to diner,
Sandwiches.
There are so many things to choose from. They also have grab and go options. So if you don't feel like sitting down and having a meal and you just want to take it with you, or you just left the workout class and you just want to grab something quickly, they have different boxes that you can grab. Some have proteins and fruits. There's a bento box. There's sushi. So it just depends on what you're feeling. Mm-hmm. But for the most part, when we ate at the Galley, it was mostly for the burgers and fries.
The fries are to die for.
They're very good. That's usually what we do on embarkation, so the first day of the cruise. But you can also go to the Galley for breakfast. You can go for lunch, and you can go for dinner.
It's open for you to eat.
Yes.
Not all the restaurants are open at all the times. Some of them do close and switch over to lunch, and some switch over to dinner. The only thing that's open 24 hours in the Galley is the diner.
The diner.
Which is a little unheard of on cruise lines, that something is actually open 24 hours nowadays. So that's where, you leave the club at 3 a.m., you're a little hungry. You go on up to the Galley and the diner and get your french fries. But the Galley is a great venue. When us being regular cruisers, I didn't know how I felt about the Galley and that concept. I didn't know how it would come to fruition, but in both of our voyages, January and March, and if you haven't watched the first one, we did go on 2 voyages. January was not busy. March was full. We had positive experience in both. Obviously in March, it took a little bit longer to get food. They're serving more people, there's more orders, but I haven't had any of the nightmare experiences that I've read. Sometimes I wonder if people are just exaggerating the truth just a little bit to make more content, but we didn't really have any extreme delays.
No. The thing that you need to know is that the food is all cooked to order, which I love because when you get your food, it's hot.
Yeah.
Even on the second voyage, where it may have taken a few minutes longer to get food, it was still hot when I got it, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Rather than, you know, them pre-making things and putting them under a heat lamp, and then by the time you get it, it's like lukewarm.
Yeah, and everybody breathing on it. So yeah, it's great choices. I tried the diner. I've tried the sandwiches. In our group, they tried the ramen.
Did anybody try the taco spot?
Nobody tried the taco spot.
Every time we go by, we're like, we should.
And I love tacos.
But there's so many options.
Yeah, like, I like to eat, but I also like train myself not to eat too much to where like I get to a point where I'm like, all right, I can't do this. So,
there's also a sweet spot. So for dessert, there are a ton of options.
Cookies, pies.
And I want to say they changed throughout the voyage. So you might get something different every day, and then some of the things stay the same.
Yeah. So it's really unique experience. Do have a little patience if it is busy. Obviously, it's going to take a little longer. You have a little flag that you put up on your table. A server comes up to you. They take their order on the phone. If they don't see your flag, you know, don't sit there and get pissed off. Definitely just wave your hand to one of the servers that are on the deck.
Mm-hmm.
They will come right over. Don't sit there and get angry at yourself. But we've had great experiences. The food was delicious. I recommend the Galley. It's just such a unique concept. It's like a food court where everything comes out fresh for you. And now that I've experienced it, I much prefer that over the buffet. And I know that's not a popular thought process with some reviewers or people's experiences. They prefer the buffet line. I mean, I get it if you're on the go and we just, but like Sean said, there's the grab and go. If you're in a rush, there's grab and go. They change it at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Mm-hmm. So it'll meet whatever time frame of food. So you can definitely do that. And even they have desserts in there at times.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can get your whole meal on the grab and go.
So another thing that I wanted to talk about, and if you haven't seen the first video, we kind of touch on engagement of the crew. On our second voyage for breakfast, we met a lovely young man by the name of Pablito, who is super engaging with us, who we saw throughout the cruise. He also worked in Pink Agave, which we will get to. But again, the engagement factor and just having that one-on-one and getting to know him and him getting to know us throughout the voyage is something that I feel is super unique.
Yeah. So definitely check out the Galley. It is a different concept. So if you're a seasoned cruiser, bring your patience. It's not going to be slop the food in your plate and go down the assembly line. It's a service. It is quick service, essentially. Yes. Is what it's like. So think Panera, Chipotle, except you don't even go up to order. They come to you and order. A lot of great options for you to choose from.
Yeah. Another thing, there is a lot of seating. There's seating on both sides. There's also outside seating for the Galley. So if you go further towards the aft of the ship or the back of the ship, there is seating out there. It's shaded for the most part. So if you want to eat out and have an ocean view, you can do that as well. They also have a coffee bar. Mm-hmm. So you can get your coffee in the morning or lunchtime or whatever you want.
They have the coffee bar, which is for pay. But they have regular drip coffee. Mm-hmm. Something to mention in this section is your sodas are included as part of the voyage. So no paying for sodas. But yeah, it's a great experience. I enjoyed it. You will see mixed reviews out there. But I kind of like that we got to experience it as not a full ship to a full ship to kind of balance out our opinions.
Yeah.
And I don't think it changed. Yes, I had to walk a little further to find a seat. Maybe it took me a little bit longer to order and a little bit longer to get food. But it wasn't something that I was like, oh, geez, I waited 30 minutes for somebody to show up.
I mean, to be honest, it was like a regular cruise ship, except, you know, instead of waiting in line to get food somewhere, you sit down and just wait for your food to come.
I love it. Like, in some cruise lines, you go through the main assembly line. And then if you want a salad, you got to go over here. Yeah. And then if you want a dessert, you have to go over there. Everything just comes to me. I love it.
So that's the Galley. Highly recommend you try it out if you
at least on embarkation day.
Yeah. So let's get into the specialty restaurants. So first up, we'll do GunBae. GunBae is Korean barbecue. If you are traveling with just you and perhaps another sailor, or if you're traveling by yourself, it is a family style seating, so you will be seated with other people unless you have 6 people in your group, because the table holds six. So we were traveling with a group of 4, so we got sat with another couple on our first voyage and then a single cruiser on our second voyage.
Oh, yeah. I don't like to sit with other people, so that for me is a little... but, you know, I went in with my best foot forward, and it was a great experience. The people from the first voyage were really cool. It was their first cruise ever, so we got to share all our differences from other cruise lines. And the second time was a seasoned cruiser. He's got more cruises than we did. But it was great to engage with both of those people, well, the couple and then the single person. But GunBae.
Hey, how are you? Welcome to GunBae. Nice to see you again.
GunBae is awesome.
GunBae is not just a restaurant, it is an experience.
It is, it really is.
If you've gone to Korean barbecue local to your house, you may be familiar. It is the same setup. The food is cooked in front of you, but you don't cook it.
Yes, you don't have to cook it.
Your server/cook, server/cook, will definitely cook the food for you. So you get to choose an entree, appetizer, entree, and then a dessert afterwards. And you can combine whether you want just chicken or you want chicken and beef, chicken and shrimp.
Yeah. So he will ask everyone if everyone's okay with everything, or if people have specific things that they can't or don't want. And I want to be probably should have mentioned this at the beginning of the video, but Virgin is super, super on it when it comes to food allergies.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever restaurant you go to, the first thing they'll probably ask you if there's any allergies. Your sister has a dairy allergy, so they're very conscious of it. They will ask, and you know, whatever accommodations they need to make, they will do that for you.
And it's not like we're just asking to ask. They know what you can and cannot eat on that menu.
Yes.
And it's wild to me that they memorize all that.
They do. But getting back to GunBae, so you're brought out an assortment of, I don't know what to call them exactly.
There's like little different side dishes that they
Different
welcome you
sides.
to GunBae with. I cannot remember any of them. Not because I was intoxicated. I just could not remember what they were called.
You'll enjoy them. Right. You'll enjoy at least one out of like the 6 that they bring you.
Try all of them, and if you don't like it, then you don't like it. But
that was a fun experience, like trying each one to see like what you like and what you don't like.
They're not, they're nice. Roast grub. I mean, I can remember sitting, and I don't remember if it was in Anaheim or in Orlando. I can remember.
So that was good. So you start out with that, kind of nibbling as you're waiting, and then he takes your order. He runs through the entire menu, or he or she runs through the entire menu with you, which is great, answers all your questions, and then they bring out the appetizers.
Yeah, so we got the rice and the chicken.
No, the potatoes. The chicken, yes.
The chicken.
The fried chicken. Sorry.
And they have
That chicken is fucking fire.
seaweed chips.
Seaweed chips and some other things that I would not eat. So I did not want to be wasteful. But the seaweed chips are really good.
Yes.
I was surprised.
And so, you know, while all of that is happening, your server cook will come over and will explain a drinking game. Everyone, when you come to GunBae, you can expect to play this drinking game. If you do not want to drink, it's okay. You don't have to drink. You can still participate in the game. And the game is 369. And basically, the idea is that one person will start counting, and then when we get to either 3, 6, or 9, you clap instead of saying the number. If you hesitate, or if you say the number, then you have to take a shot. It is a very fun game. It is very entertaining. When someone has to take a shot, we all bang on the table, GunBae, GunBae, GunBae. And so you'll hear that throughout your meal. The aesthetic of GunBae is very much Korean barbecue, and you'll feel like you're in Koreatown. But the music that they play is all hip hop, and most of it is 90s hip hop. So you'll hear Wu-Tang, you'll hear Biggie, just a lot. It's very fusion, if you will.
It's a great experience. The food is delicious. I had the chicken and the beef. You had...
I had the chicken. I had the beef. I had the shrimp. And the chicken.
Yeah. I think you had another seafood.
I didn't do the... I think they had octopus.
Well, that was the gentleman that was with us.
Yeah, I didn't do that.
He had octopus.
Yeah.
And he said it was very good. So...
Take his word. I didn't really try.
I mean, that's the great part. It's just, you can try everything that you want.
Yeah. And then if you want more, you can get more.
Yeah, like, I don't know how many things of chicken I had. And this is not the chicken they cook in the Korean barbecue style on the
grill.
On the grill. It is just, I don't know. It is just fucking delicious. Trust me, try it, order it. You will order a second one.
Yeah. Because they're delicious.
I could have just ate that chicken and I would have been happy. It had like a tangy but spicy feel to it.
Yeah.
It was just delicious. The rice was delicious. Like, I'm telling you, I could have just ate the rice and the chicken that was like the pre-meal, and I didn't even eat what they were cooking.
So yeah, the first voyage when we did the drinking game, and I believe it was a sake.
It's sake, yeah.
That you were doing the shots with. He just
it's
left
free.
The bottle. The second time they didn't leave the bottle.
No, I think the ship was full, and we had to restrict the ship. But no, I appreciate a free shot.
Yeah, it was a good time. GunBae is a lot of fun.
GunBae is a lot of fun.
Yes.
So definitely, I would say it's one of your must-do on Virgin Voyages.
Yes.
And their dessert. Like the first voyage, I was a little iffy on the dessert because it was like was it like a seaweed? Something?
It was an ice cream that was
infused.
Yeah.
And the first voyage, I was like, I don't know how I feel about it. The second voyage, I'm like, you know what? Let's just fucking try it.
Just try it.
And it was
good.
It was good. I wanted more. It reminded me of, I don't know if you've ever had like a fried ice cream, which is more Mexican, with kind of like the flakes, the Kellogg's type of flakes from the cereal, just as a descriptor. I felt like it was kind of a take on that.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, but it was really, really good. I was surprised and I was mad I didn't try it the first time. But definitely recommend GunBae, not only for the food, but just the experience. If you're not traveling with anybody, I don't know how they do it, but they kind of like figure out how to sit people. And it seems like what you can see around, everybody's kind of vibing. And not everybody obviously is traveling in groups of 6 or more.
Right.
So definitely go for the experience, but also the food. I enjoyed GunBae. I didn't think I'd enjoy it. Like when I went into the first voyage, it was probably at my bottom of list of the restaurants, and it probably moved up to number 2 in my list of restaurants.
Love GunBae.
Love it.
So next we'll go to Extra Virgin.
Extra Virgin.
Extra Virgin is their Italian restaurant.
Italiano.
It is very, I almost want to say sophisticated, but that's not the word I'm looking for.
It is an upscale
It's classy
restaurant, but with a relaxed
Feels
New York casual vibe. If that makes sense.
Sure. I'm not sure why.
Like it's upscale, but you don't have to overly dress up. But that's a Virgin thing.
Yeah.
You don't have to dress up for these restaurants.
Yeah, there's no dress code, because a lot of other cruise lines will have dress codes for specific restaurants. Like you can't wear flip-flops and a tank top or a sportswear. And don't get me wrong, you won't see anyone, I didn't see anyone with like athletic clothes on, because most people are going to dress nice for dinner anyway.
But it doesn't, Virgin, it doesn't matter. It's your voyage. You do what you want.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, that was just a pointless piece that you should probably know. Back to Extra Virgin. But it's a great vibe in Extra Virgin. It's not overly Italian driven. Like the vibe and the dressing of the restaurant. Like on Carnival, Cucina del Capitano it's very Italian. This was just like, it felt like an upscale but casual restaurant. We only went on that to Extra Virgin on our first voyage because it was 5 days versus 4. There's more restaurants on here than you can do on a 5-day, essentially. But I don't remember what I got. I got a carbonara or something.
I think so.
The food was delicious.
The food was delicious.
It also included a free shot.
Yes. The limoncello.
Limoncello. Was it to clean the palate?
Yes.
Clean the palate
After your meal.
after the meal.
To prepare you for dessert.
Yeah. And again, everything is cooked to order. There is nothing that comes out pre-made.
Yeah.
If you've cruised before, you know when you go into a main dining room, the food is cooked, but it is not cooked to order. Everything is cooked to order on Virgin Voyages. I don't know if this is true or not. I read somewhere that each chef is restricted to how many plates they cook at a time for each sailor, which helps with consistency and trying to get the food out within a timely fashion as well. Because when you're cooking, on the spot, starting a whole meal, it can take a while. But they do a very good job with pacing out the food.
Yeah.
I had the meatballs for appetizer. They were delicious. Very well seasoned. The sauce was delicious. I can only compare it back to Carnival because I haven't been to Royals. I don't even know if they have an Italian restaurant, but don't bash me in the comments. But I thought the meatballs on Virgin Voyages were actually better than the one on Carnival.
I mean, the food on Virgin is the one consistent I feel like most people have. When I've looked at videos before we even took Virgin, like everyone was raving about the food. So when I got on, like I was expecting the food to be spectacular, and I will say that it did not disappoint. Once again, I just have to bring it back to service and the engagement. Our waiter was very knowledgeable. On the menu, they have pairings. So depending on what food you get, they have a wine to pair with it. He was very knowledgeable about the wines. And just knowledgeable and engaging in general. Like, I can say that about almost every restaurant we're going to talk about today.
Yeah. The food was good. The main entree was delicious, hot. I think the dessert was the highlight for me.
Dessert was very good.
I do not remember what it was called.
I don't either. It was a coffee with
ice cream.
So it's ice cream with coffee poured on top. And then you get your choice of toppings to go on it.
Like chocolate chips or marshmallows? I don't know.
I don't remember.
I will say by this point, I was a little tipsy. I had me a margarita and then the shot. Anyways. But Extra Virgin was probably like number 4 on my list. Number 4.
I'm not ranking it, y'all.
I'm not ranking it either, but just for, like, if I were going back, there's restaurants that I want to go to versus restaurants that I don't necessarily have to go to or I wouldn't get upset about it.
I agree.
But Extra Virgin was great. It's up there. If you're into Italian cuisine, that is the place to go. On board Virgin Voyages. Like when you ask for fresh cheese over your pasta, they literally bring
A block
of cheese. And they're just scraping it right there. None of that
Parmesan.
None of that fake Parmesan they might be pouring over. Like they bring the whole fucking cheese. And I was just mesmerized by that for some reason.
Yeah.
But definitely recommend Extra Virgin as well as the Italian restaurant On Board.
So let's go to the Wake.
The Wake. Mm-hmm.
So the Wake is the seafood and steakhouse on board Virgin.
And they are one of 2 that do brunch.
Yes. So we ate there for dinner, and we also ate there one day for brunch.
Yeah, this was on our first voyage. We did not do it on the second voyage.
Yes. So for brunch, I feel like we did not. I enjoyed mine. I got the French toast.
Mm-hmm.
It was very good. It was cooked to perfection. It was delicious. I don't know what else to say. You and your sister got an egg in a hole, and I'm not sure why y'all went that way, but y'all did.
I don't know what I was eating. I assume it was egg. I'm not sure if it was. I ate it, but I did not enjoy it. My sister did not enjoy it either. And then the whole time I was like, why didn't I just get French toast? Because my sister's husband also got like something else. And he said it was delicious. I think it was steak and eggs or something like that.
I think so.
And he said it was delicious. So for me, the food just soured the experience a little bit for me. And it's probably because of what I got.
Yeah.
I should have done a better job reading what it was. I was trying to be healthy and be like, ooh, this sounds healthy and airy. Just go for the bad food. Let's do that. But it's a beautiful view at the Wake. You look out the back of the ship.
Hence why it's called the Wake.
This is the only place where we maybe had a little bit of lack of service during brunch. But I think we mentioned in our previous video that it seemed like they were doing a shift change in the middle of our sitting. And I think he kind of got caught with us. He was still very nice, engaging, but it wasn't like some of the other people we had experienced. And then when I got the egg and hole, I was like, okay, what the fuck is this? So that may have just overall given me a bad experience at the Wake, but people talk very highly about the Wake's breakfast or brunch. So recommend that if you want to check it out.
Again, it all depends on what you like, because there are people like you who don't like seafood. And the Wake has a lot of seafood on the menu for both brunch and for dinner. For dinner, our experience was still good. Service was excellent.
Great. Like when he found out my sister had a food allergy, he just broke down the menu.
Yeah. Of what she couldn't have.
We had a beautiful table. It was nighttime. We could see the Wake rolling. It was great.
It was very nice. And I feel like there's not a bad view in that restaurant unless you're eating in the interior part.
And again, this is like, it feels like their top end restaurant, the way it's decorated.
Yes.
But again, no dress code.
No.
So wear clothes. But feel free to wear what you want if you want to be comfortable. Don't feel like you need to be stuffed up in a suit to go to this restaurant either.
No. Also for dinner, it is served family style. So like you share whatever it is that you get. So the appetizers are all shareable. So that's just a note. I forgot what we got though. I feel like I got the
I think we got some potatoes. Yes, the potatoes were delicious.
Yeah. And I don't remember what I had.
I'll tell you, they bring you this bread. The bread was delicious.
The bread was very good.
It was fucking delicious.
Yeah.
For entree, I had the chicken, which was probably, it was good. It was probably, if I had to say the most mediocre thing I had besides the eggs, was chicken, and it's not because it wasn't good. It was elevated chicken. But to me, I was just like, eh. Because the Wake was our last restaurant on our first voyage. I had eaten so much good food by the time I got to the Wake that I was like, oh, okay. And again, they're not probably, chicken is probably not their top thing. It's seafood and steak.
Yep.
My sister enjoyed her steak. I believe she had a steak.
Mm-hmm.
And her husband enjoyed the dinner as well. The dinner was great. It was great. It just wasn't up there for me. And I do, like he said, the Wake is probably not a restaurant that fits my palate.
Yes. We did not get dessert because we were trying to make a show.
Yeah.
But they did have baked Alaska on it, which
I love baked Alaska.
I feel like I would go back to the Wake just to try the baked Alaska.
Which is the order one to go.
Sure, could do that. But yeah, that's the Wake.
Yeah, definitely check it out if you're a seafood or steak connoisseur.
Mm-hmm.
That's the restaurant you'll want to put on your top of the list.
Yeah. So let's move to Razzle Dazzle.
Razzle Dazzle. I'm sure it's the one most people are familiar with.
Probably.
It's usually in most ads. Like most Virgin Voyages restaurants, there's an Instagrammable moment at the restaurant. All the restaurants have amazing, like, picturesque
things about them.
entrances.
Yes.
But definitely Razzle Dazzle is their vegetarian leaning. Wait, is that what it is?
Vegan, vegetarian. Yeah.
Vegan friendly leaning restaurant.
Yes.
It's not to say it's the only place, obviously, you can get vegan food.
Right.
But it's more inclusive to vegan-esque food. They are also the other restaurant that offers brunch beyond the Wake, and then obviously you can get breakfast at the Galley. Razzle Dazzle was our first restaurant on our first voyage. I like the vibe.
Razzle Dazzle is fun. It is where we really did get a lot of engagement with the staff. The food is, I love the food.
Yeah.
I've watched other reviews, I've watched other videos, and people are kind of mixed on it. Again, it may not be for everyone's palate, but even though they offer a lot of vegan food, they also have what they call the naughty menu, where you can get fried chicken and other things that aren't vegan. The Impossible Burger is really, really good. The avocado toast
For
is out of this world.
To die for.
It is avocado toast with sriracha, and I don't know what
There's a watermelon garnish on top.
Yes.
Watermelon radish.
Yes.
Which I was like, what the fuck is that? I've never heard of it
It's
before.
delicious.
Maybe I'm just not cultured enough. And then they serve it with a lime. And I was like, what the hell do you do with the lime? Obviously put it over, but what's the flavors gonna be? Like, we're talking about strawberry, avocado, lime. Amazing. Just
Amazing.
Absolutely amazing. And that's for brunch, obviously. For dinner, I had the Impossible Burger, which is the best Impossible Burger I've had.
It is well seasoned.
Well seasoned.
Cooked
Fresh, of course.
It comes with those amazing fries.
The amazing fries from the Galley.
Not a bad thing I can really say about Razzle Dazzle. They offer different desserts. They have
the cookies.
rainbow churros, which come with a vegan ice cream, which is hit or miss.
I don't like it.
But
But the dipping raspberry sauce for the churro waffle.
it's a strawberry sauce.
Strawberry?
Yeah.
Delicious.
The milk and cookies.
Milk and cookies. If you're feeling full, let me tell you, the cookies are big.
The cookies are very big, and then the milk that they give you is cereal flavored. So you have your choice of like Lucky Charms, Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
I don't remember.
I can't remember.
I did
the
Cinnamon
other one.
Toast Crunch, which was delicious.
But it's a lot,
It's a lot of cookies.
but it's very good.
And they have a vegan version of the cookies, and then they have non-vegan version of cookies.
So they had like a red velvet, a
Chocolate.
matcha.
A matcha, which was actually pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And I think like a double chocolate something.
Yeah.
So it was delicious. The cookies were delicious. I also tried the churros with the ice cream. I wasn't a fan of the ice cream, but churros were good.
Churros are very good.
And then for brunch, geez, I don't remember what I did for brunch. Besides the avocado toast.
For brunch, I would switch between the avocado toast and then they have the Razzle Dazzle breakfast, which comes with turkey sausage, eggs, bacon.
It's impossible sausage.
Yes. You can also get bacon.
Yes. You can, it's like, the bacon is like brown sugar honey drizzled.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Very good.
I'm not a bacon fan, but it was good bacon.
Very good bacon.
Razzle Dazzle is delicious for brunch and dinner.
You also get an assortment of pastries. They have pastries there.
They also have vegan and dairy-free type of options that you can do. There's like a jalapeno popper pastry. I don't remember what I got. But yeah, Razzle Dazzle is great. But if you're doing your research, you're gonna hear mixed reviews on it.
Probably.
Some people hate Razzle Dazzle. Some people prefer it for brunch versus dinner. It's whatever your palate takes you to. I enjoy Razzle Dazzle for both brunch and dinner.
And I will say that most of the restaurants have specialty drinks that you can only get at the restaurants. Razzle Dazzle is one of them. They have a popcorn old fashioned, which comes in a popcorn bag.
With popcorn.
With popcorn. The drink is inside. It's super clever. Me and your sister got the gin bunny, which is very delicious. You got a drink the first time that you did not care for.
But I drank it.
But you drank it anyway.
And then I switched to gin bunny.
Yes.
But yeah, definitely check out the Razzle Dazzle. I enjoyed it. Oh, the tater tots.
Oh,
the cheesy. Is that breakfast or lunch? Dinner?
I think it's brunch.
I don't know.
You might be able to get them for brunch and for dinner.
Fire.
Because a lot of the menu options for brunch you can also get for dinner. Like the Impossible Burger you can get anytime. I think the tots were another one.
Yeah.
And the fried chicken you can get.
Oh yeah, the fried chicken. Yeah.
Either one.
Yeah. For us, it was up there as a restaurant. But
yeah.
Again, your palate might be different. You might prefer the Wake versus Razzle Dazzle. You might be a little bougie, so you might just prefer the Wake. I've been told I'm a little urban, so maybe that's why I like Razzle Dazzle a little bit.
All right, let's move on to one of our faves, Pink Agave.
This is my number one. If I could only pick one restaurant on Virgin Voyages, it would be Pink Agave.
So Pink Agave is their Latin restaurant.
Mexican infused.
It is another totally Instagrammable entrance.
Mm-hmm.
There are light bulbs when you walk in all around. It is a vibe just going in there. The inside is very lush. It is giving me Mexican,
elevated Mexican,
elevated luxury Mexican.
Yeah. It's not like most Mexican restaurants you walk into is very high, bright colors, and it is a upscaled version of a Mexican cuisine.
Yes,
but still with finishes and touches that bring in that Mexican infusion.
Yes, the food. Amazing. The guac.
Amazing.
The corn.
Amazing.
The shrimp. Amazing.
I didn't try it. I don't like shrimp.
The steak. You had the steak.
Fucking amazing. They put cheese on a steak, and I'm sure you've heard if you're doing your research, you've heard it on other videos. What the hell is cheese doing on steak? Don't knock it till you fucking try it.
It's delicious.
Delicious.
I had the pork. It was tender. It was juicy. It was seasoned. It was everything. The dessert, you had the chocolate tacos.
I had chocolate tacos the first time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember what I had the second time.
I
I was severely intoxicated the second time.
Second time we were. Because we discovered a new drink. Usually his go-to is margaritas. And Virgin has $9 margaritas.
I mean,
Wherever you go, you can get a $9 margarita.
I went to Extra Virgin. I asked for a margarita. He looked at me slightly crooked.
He's like, you don't want wine? You don't want a pair of
No,
wine?
I don't want pie. I don't want wine. I don't want no lemon something. I want a margarita.
So we discovered the second voyage that they have these frescas. And you can get them in different flavors. It's like mango, passion fruit. They might have a strawberry, but I'm not sure. Maybe no.
I would have gotten it for the strawberry.
But it was also $9.
It was $9 and the cup was bigger.
So it was Fresca, and I don't remember which liquor was mixed with it.
No, you get to pick your liquor.
It was tequila.
Yeah, but you get to pick your liquor.
Yes, you do.
There's 3 or 4 liquors you can pick from.
Yeah.
And then there's the flavors. So you
Yes.
kind of make your own Fresca.
But we did tequila.
Sure.
And it came in a very nice big glass.
Mind you, I had drinks prior to. This was the second time. This
On the
was
second
time.
voyage.
Yeah. The first voyage, I was also messed up.
So
So that was my birthday.
This will be another shout out to service. On the second voyage, we had a dinner reservation time of 9 or 9:15.
The first voyage?
The second voyage.
9:15.
9:15. So we show up, we see that there's a line. The hostess explains to us that there was a technical issue with their machine, their programming. And so reservations were out of whack. But the way that they handled it was amazing. You basically gave her your room number, your name. You could either choose to stay there and wait, or, you know, if you went off somewhere, they would contact you through Sailor Services or some other means. We decided to wait. And, you know, whenever someone came for their reservation, she would write their name down. People were just staying anyway, falling in line. And they were getting people through like this. And before we knew it, it was our turn.
We sat maybe 10 minutes after our reservation.
Yeah, maybe 10 minutes after the reservation. And this whole time, they gave everyone free champagne. That's why you had already started to be tipsy. But it was just the way that they handled that situation. I just love the way they handled it.
Yeah, she was professional. She was direct. She made sure nobody was wilding out. But they steamrolled people in. And I mean, like 10 minutes past my reservation, I couldn't be mad over that.
No, not at all. It was just the way that they handled it was super professional. She said, you know, we're going to make sure that everyone eats because the restaurants close at a certain time. She was like, even if we have to stay open past that time, we will make sure that everyone eats. And couldn't have handled it any better.
I want to say everybody was sat before they were even supposed to close.
Yeah.
So they made it happen.
It was a good time.
Something that's cool about Pink Agave is depending on from what we heard, depending on how many sailors are on board, they sometimes have a live DJ in Pink Agave. The music's already great in Pink Agave because it's, you know, my people, my music. But they had a live DJ, so they were playing even better music. It was just, Pink Agave is a whole fucking vibe.
Make sure you get a reservation for Pink Agave.
Pink Agave reservations tend to go the fastest.
Yes.
On Virgin, so
I would say it's probably the most popular.
So if you are booking, or when your time is ready to come up and book Pink Agave first, then fall into the other restaurants.
Yes.
Because you cannot miss Pink Agave.
Yes.
You cannot.
So on the second voyage, we told you we ran into a crew member, Pablito. So he was in the galley for breakfast on embarkation day. The day that we went to Pink Agave, he was working there. We got to chat with him a little bit more. Super sweet and just attentive and amazing and engaging. And, you know, once again, and our server also was very nice.
I forgot his name. I think it was Curon.
I forgot his name as well. But on our first voyage, we had Isaac, who, again, amazing, engaging. This one had a little crush. But I don't know. Service, amazing. Food, amazing. Pink Agave is definitely our number one restaurant.
Like the attention to detail, like I like to observe my surroundings at times, and like when my sister's food would come out, I would see the manager not micromanaging, but just kind of making sure the correct plate. I guess that is kind of micromanaging, but just making sure, because Virgin is so particular about allergies that I'm sure they don't want the wrong plate to go somewhere.
Right.
But I could see him from a distance enough to, he was satisfied that my sister got the plate that belonged to her. And it is kind of micromanaging, but it wasn't intrusive micromanagement from what I saw.
No, he was just observing.
Yeah. But it's just those attention to details is really cool.
Yeah.
But do not miss Pink Agave. Do not get the guac, get the corn. Yeah. And then figure out your entree. They're all good.
They are all good. So let's move on to a little dessert.
Oh, yes. Lick me till ice cream.
So if you have been doing research, I'm sure you've seen Lick Me Till Ice Cream. It is the ice cream spot on board. It is very good. They have a host of different flavors, and it changes. So you might want to go every day just to see what they got. You can either get it in a cup or a cone. They have flavored cones. They usually have red velvet, vanilla, and chocolate for cones. And then the ice cream, like I said, it varies.
Yeah, I mean, they had a coffee one. They had a key lime one.
A strawberry milkshake.
Yeah. They also have dairy-free, vegan options as well that are available that also rotate over the course of your voyage. If you're a seasoned cruiser, you're used to like the froyo machines or the upcharge for better ice cream. Version doesn't do that. It is included in your voyage. They're open till like 10 o'clock at night, so you can get your ice cream desires fulfilled. Yes. Don't miss it. You can't miss it, because when you board the ship, it is literally right there.
Yeah, it is on the floor that you board. Yeah. So like you can literally get on the ship and go get some ice cream if that's what you want to do.
Yeah. So definitely don't miss Lick Me Till Ice Cream.
Right next to Lick Me Till Ice Cream is the pizza place.
The pizza place.
Pizza place is exactly what it sounds like, a pizza place. When you walk in, they also have to-go items.
Yep.
So if you don't feel like waiting for a pizza, I don't know that they have to-go pizzas in.
There's no to-go pizzas.
Yeah.
It was salads, wraps.
Yes.
Some dessert items. I assume they rotate throughout the day as well.
Right.
So you grab and go for you. Again, Virgin Voyages is very big on sustainability, so there is no one-use plastics on board.
Yep.
Everything is recycled plastics, containers, and yeah.
So you get a menu to look at, and they will take your order. Once again, they will ask if anyone has any allergies. You can get your pizza to go. They have boxes, or you can eat right there. They have plenty of seating, both inside and outside a pizza place, and the pizza is delish.
It's elevated.
Once again, made to order, so when you get it, it's nice and hot.
It puts the other cruise lines we've been on to shame.
It really does. The pizza it's amazing.
If you're doing research, or if this is your first stop, there is a cheese, I forgot what it's called, cheese goddess.
Are you talking about the pretty fly for a white pie?
That's one we got.
Yeah.
That pizza is phenomenal. And it is probably the most people talk about in reviews.
It is, I'd say it's probably their most popular one.
it is delicious. And, you know, again, we're seasoned cruisers. It is probably the best pizza we've had at sea.
Pretty fly for a white pie.
Yeah.
And they all have cute, I love Virgin for their cute names and the things they do. And it's all very memey, it's all very punny, but it works for their brand.
Yeah.
Because they're fun.
Yeah. So definitely don't miss the pizza place. They're open till 2 a.m., I believe, so they're not a 24-hour operation.
Yes.
But they're open till 2 a.m., so leave the manor a little early and go get you a pizza. I don't know if you can do room service for pizza.
I don't think you can, because I remember looking at the menu and I did not see pizza on there. But since we're doing that, let's just talk about room service.
Sure.
So room service can be ordered through the tablet in your room or on the Virgin app. They can bring food to you anywhere on the ship using the location of your phone. So if you're, you know, at the dock house and you want some gummy bears, you can order it on your phone and someone will bring it to you, which is another cool thing about Virgin. We only tried room service once.
Yeah. There's just so much food that I just couldn't figure out when to fit in room service.
Yes. But the way they give it to you is amazing.
Yeah, I think we have footage. I mean,
Yeah,
footage. It's in a bag. So again, Virgin is all about sustainability. But if you are a seasoned cruiser, usually somebody brings in a huge tray and 65 bowls. Not Virgin. Everything is in this compact, like self-cooler type of bag.
Sure.
And everything is stacked in there nicely.
Mm-hmm.
And then you open the bag up and you just take out the little plates. And there's all your food.
Everything is sealed.
Sealed.
So nothing spills or there's no leaks.
Yep. If you do, we ask for drinks, sodas, so they put the sodas in there.
And they were cold.
They were cold. If you order coffee, that they pack it into this bag just like that. Whereas when I've ordered on other cruise lines, they bring you the whole fucking coffee thing. And it's just like, there's just too much. I don't have enough space in my room. But yeah, it was... Room service is an elevated experience. You can get a steak.
Yeah.
You can get a steak. You can get a steak in room service. And we didn't do it, but we've seen other vloggers that have done it, and they loved the steak.
Yes.
So it's definitely an elevated experience as well.
It's worth it. The room service is free, meaning that you can pick whatever you want on the menu for free. But there is a delivery charge, which I forget how much it was.
I don't remember.
I want to say it was like $5.
I think it was $5 or $7.
Something like that. But again, let's speak to service. You had ordered pretzels and gummy bears, and the lady, they called to the room and was like, I'm so sorry, we are out of the pretzels. Can she was like, I can give you like double gummy bears if you like. And we were like, sure, that works, that's fine. We just wanted
We're just doing snacks because dinner was later that night.
Yes. And so she came, she gave it, she was like, I put extra gummy bears in there. And she did. She really gave you
I feel like we saw her somewhere else.
We did, because we went to a show later that night. And
she was the
working
server.
there. Yes. And she was like, oh, I remember you. And she was like, how was the food? And we were like, great, thank you for the extra gummy bears. But like, again, this is...
I didn't remember her, but she remembered
She remembered us. And like, again, that just speaks once again to the service and engagement. And your mileage may vary when it comes to that, but I am a true believer in you get what you give out. So if you interact with these people or if you engage with them, they will engage back with you. And I just feel like it will elevate your voyage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. So that was, we circumvented into
other things. But I think that's it.
Well, there's another restaurant on board.
Yes.
We did not attempt to go to this one. It's called The Test Kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
It seems to be popular, not popular, I don't know. It is exactly what you hear, The Test Kitchen. It is a lot of experimental foods with different flavors and different techniques being cooked. I am not that adventurous when it comes to food. So I do not want to go there and waste food, because some of the things they serve I would never eat. The people that we've seen that have gone have enjoyed the test kitchen. Some have said they left hungry. The foods do tend to be smaller plates.
Yeah, I think it's like six courses, but they're like smaller plates.
One unique thing they do is they do have a whole drink pairing with each of your plates. It is not free.
No, that's an upcharge.
It's an upcharge. But the people that we've seen that enjoyed it really enjoyed it. The people that didn't enjoy it because they might not be too adventurous with food, they didn't enjoy it. That's why I chose not to go to the test kitchen. But you can check it out if you're an adventurous foodie and you really want to try a different experience. Or this is, you're on your vacation, you're like, I'm going to do something different. The test kitchen might be a good place for you to go. And from the people that we've seen and read about, they recommend doing the drink pairings because apparently it goes very well with what you're eating.
Yes, and your waiter, from what I've seen, also explains everything, like what the dish is, how it's made, and why that certain drink goes along with it. So
definitely check that out if you're interested in it. That really does conclude the food on board.
I mean, there is like the dock house where you can get small bites. We have not tried them.
I think my sister and her husband did.
Yeah.
And they enjoyed the bites.
I really wanted to try the shrimp because it looks amazing. I will on our next voyage. But yeah, like there are other areas around, like at the coffee shop we said you can grab pastries.
The social house, if that's what it's called, where the games are, they do serve food there as well. I believe it's an upcharge. But there are food bites there that you can get as well. Different hours, so definitely check when you're on board what hours they're open. But food is stellar on board Virgin Voyages. I can't say I had a nasty thing before, besides eggs in a hole, and that's 100% my fault for picking something that I probably should have read better. That was just totally me. But we didn't try the grab and go either. We've never had an opportunity to try it.
No, Carlos tried the sushi, which was...
Well, that's the bento place.
But I thought they also had grab and go boxes.
Oh, I don't know. Well, the sushi's grab and go.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Anything in the bento boxes is grab and go.
Yeah.
Which in the mornings it's fruit, in the afternoon lunch sushi. I did try my first, it's been a long time since I've had sushi, and I just reacquainted myself as to why I don't eat sushi. Okay. It was a traumatizing experience for me, and we'll just leave it at that. It is what it is.
I will tell you, at the Sweet Spot, which is the dessert place, they have what is called s'mores in a jar. Delicious.
Yeah. I've never, he was just in heaven.
It is literally just a little jar. You get a spoon and it's like layered. It's like chocolate or marshmallow fluff and some graham cracker on top.
I'm mad I didn't try it. I always went for the cookies.
They also had donuts. Just so many things. So many things.
Well, I think that does it
for the food.
For the food. You will not go hungry on Virgin. At least I never did.
You definitely won't.
Like, I felt like I didn't have enough time to eat everything I wanted to eat. Just because I felt like, the portions are good size, everything is good.
Yeah.
One thing that kind of ties into food that we wanted to talk about is the, what is it called? Bar tab. Which is different from other cruise lines, which are usually drink packages. I can't speak for Royal because I'm not too familiar with them. When we went on, we didn't really engage in that. But with Carnival, we know that if you want a drink package for alcoholic beverages and assorted drinks, you pay a daily fee, and the person in your cabin also has to pay the daily fee,
Yeah.
which is like $50-some or something like that per person per day. On Virgin Voyages, there is no drink package. There is what they call a bar tab, and it is exactly what it sounds like. Just kind of like you go to a bar, you put your credit card down. It's kind of similar. Whereas the difference is where with Virgins, you will purchase your bar tab in advance to your cruise. They have a deal where if you spend $300, they give you $50. So you put $300 down as your bar tab. They will give you an additional $50. And essentially, this is where your drinks expenses come out of, the bar tab.
Yeah.
The cool part about it is if he does a bar tab, I don't have to do a bar tab.
Yeah, you can share it with your friends.
You can share it. He can share it with me. He can share it with everybody at their table.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas most cruise lines that do drink packages, it is exclusive to the person who purchased it and the person in that cabin that also had to purchase it.
Yeah. So if you're going with a group and you all want to drink, everyone can chip in money towards a bar tab, and that way you can split it or share it. Like if someone is a heavy drinker and someone doesn't drink that much, like you can chip in and just split it that way.
Yeah.
Like there is no required, everyone in the cabin has to have the bar tab.
And I've seen pros and cons about the bar tab. Some people don't like it. They feel that they spend more than if they had a drink package. And I'm just thinking you probably drink a lot if that's the case. Because I think Carnival gives you 15 drinks per person. So if him and I buy that drink bag, that's 30 drinks. I don't know what would happen to me if I drank more than 4.
You would die.
So for some people it's a benefit. For some people who are heavy drinkers, they may see it not as a benefit. But I like the fact that we're not both forced to buy the drink, the bar tab, whereas on other cruise lines you both have to buy it. We also learned on this past voyage, you can use it towards coffee drinks as well, the bar tab. So it's not just alcohol. And like we said, sodas are included, so your basic sodas. They have Coke products currently, so Coke, Coke Zero, Diet Coke, all of those are included. Water everywhere in abundance. They do not sell water bottles to the best of my knowledge because of their sustainability practices.
Mm-hmm. There's water refill stations around the ship, so if you bring your own container, you can fill up for water most of the time.
Yeah, and in your cabin, there will always be water crafts available to you. Your host or hostess will refill those every morning. She learned my flow that I needed to, and that I liked it in the fridge. And after day 1, I didn't even have to tell her. She just picked up on that.
Yes.
And sure enough, every day she'd fill them and put them right back in the fridge for me. You can ask for ice as well in the cabin if you want to. But that's important to note too, because I know a lot of people like to purchase water when they're going on board, or they like to bring water on board. There's no plastic water bottles on the ship. And I gotta say, the water on Virgin, I don't know what purifier they're using.
Oh, it's very good.
But it's not like any other cruise line I've had.
Yeah, it's like, it doesn't have a funny taste. It's like, it's just pure water.
Yeah. I don't know what they're doing, but it's delicious and it's free and it's brought to you. Mm-hmm. And if you run out, you hit that little tablet in your cabin and more water magically appears to your cabin.
So I think that covers food.
Covers food? Food, water, and bar tab.
And drinks.
But definitely get the bar tab if you're interested.
The thing about bar tab, I will say, typically you have to put down the $300 towards the bar tab. Most of the time, or I would say currently, they are usually running a special where if you book a cruise, then you automatically get $300. So you automatically have $300 to spend on drinks already. I don't know how long that will last, but for right now, that is the way things are.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
So
jump on it.
Yeah.
You can book through 2024 right now, through April 2024.
Yeah.
And you get $300 on board.
Yes.
Free beverage.
So
Definitely look into the bar tab if you're interested in it. I think it's a cool way versus the drink package that ties everybody in the cabin to having to purchase it. But we hope you've enjoyed our restaurant things review. And then we're going to have one more.
Yes.
We'll have another video to conclude our Virgin Voyage series.
All about entertainment.
Entertainment. Yes, it's big.
Lots to talk about with entertainment.
Lots to talk about. I had a lot of questions going into my first voyage about the entertainment because it definitely looked uniquely different. Pleasantly surprised though.
Yep.
So we hope you've enjoyed this one. If you didn't see the first one, go see the other one. If you started with this one and the third one's out, then go see I don't know. Check them all out.
Watch them all.
Watch them all. Hit the like. Leave us your questions. We'll be happy to try to answer whatever questions you have. I'm not a virgin expert by any means, but we've at least done 2 voyages where we now feel comfortable sharing more with people about virgin voyages.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Well, that's the foodie segment then.
Thanks for joining us. See you on the next one.
Bye.
Bye, guys.